Hi, everyone. My name is Keith Edward Cantú. I am a postdoctoral fellow in Asian religious traditions at the Center for the Study of World Religions here at Harvard Divinity School. And it is a pleasure to welcome you to the intro video for YS 131, the Yoga of Sabhapati Swami. Now, you might have taken my previous courses, Yoga and Esotericism, or Theosophy and Yoga, also offered on Yogic Studies. And today we're going to talk a little more about the latest course that's upcoming. I believe it starts on November 25th, which is the Yoga of Sabhapati Swami. So first, a little bit about me. As I mentioned, I'm here at the Center for the Study of World Religions. I'm working as part of an initiative, which is the Transcendence and Transformation Initiative. And part of that initiative is a database where we are collecting primary source material for building an archive, as well as collecting encyclopedia articles from specialists of religious studies and adjacent fields around the world on a wide range of phenomena that you could consider transcendent and transformative. Now, clearly, yoga fits right in the mix into that, and it's been a great experience working here so far. Before coming here, I was a visiting assistant professor at St. Lawrence University, and before that, it was two other postdocs and finishing the PhD. I studied under David Gordon White and wrote my dissertation, which is now a book published by Oxford University Press on the yoga of Sri Sabhapati Swami, as well as his life and times, and so on. So, this is a subject that has occupied the greater part of my life, especially for about 10 years now. And so, it's just, such a great honor and privilege to be able to share the fruits of that labor and be able to ask questions and learn from you all what aspects of Sabhapati Swami's yoga speaks to you in particular. Okay, so a little bit about Sri Sabhapati Swami, right? As I mentioned, there's a book that you can check out that will cover most of his life and his yogic works, and we'll be going through this book throughout this course, as well as with explanatory comments and notes. And during the Q&A sessions, you're also welcome to bring up questions that you might have about it. But really, this course is also going to go even much deeper than what I was able to include in the book, Like a Tree Universally Spread. So you have the advantage of really learning some of the latest findings about this yogi, as well as his yogic system, some of which I was not able to cover just for time as well as space. So we know about Sabapati Swami from at least five published accounts of his life. And, if you look at places of relevance to Sabapati Swami, you'll see that most of them are happening in southern India. Okay, so he's from what is today Chennai, right? At that time, it was Madras and its suburbs, right? And part of those suburbs included a small village. At that time, it was a temple village of Velachery. Today, it's an airport, there's a shopping mall, there is the IIT, the Indian Institute of Technology, Velachery, Madras, is there. And if you'll notice, though, there are a lot of sites that will encounter and names as we go along in this course. And of course, I will have references and a glossary for you so you'll never get lost in terms of places and names and so on. Another aspect of this course that might be interesting is that you'll get a sense for just how many ways you can render a single name. Believe it or not, one name, Sabapati, can be rendered in various scripts, in various languages, in so many ways, which has made compiling all of the information about him quite a task. And most of what was known to him previously has come to us from this 1880 pamphlet that was published in English, as I mentioned, by Sri Chandra Boshu. This was reprinted numerous times in the 1880s, 1890s, again in 1950, and then 1977 as well. And this is what most people to date, will be interested in right away about Sabapati Swami. It's the sort of the main selling point, right? His works were taken up by the founders of the Theosophical Society and later integrated into the writings of Aleister Crowley, who published an instruction in this journal, The Equinox, The Method of Science and the Aim of Religion. So, if you look though at the stream and the spread of his writings, you'll see that I've divided it into three streams: the alpha stream, the beta stream, and the gamma stream. And each of these has a certain year of publication, and each of them sort of represents a different side to Sabapati Swami's teachings. The first of these streams is the alpha stream, which is what these occultists were using. They could read English. There's no evidence that they could read Hindi, or definitely not Sanskrit or Tamil, beyond very, very, very limited, if any, level. And so, this stream, though, as well, was picked up and translated into Bengali, and the lectures themselves are worth our time and sort of attention to really get to the essence of what Sabapati was saying, right? Beyond the mediation, what is Sabapati trying to say with these lectures, especially Om, a treatise on Vedantic Raj Yoga philosophy? So this was later expanded into Sabapati Swami's trilingual work, published in 1884, and then the second volume in 1890. And in this work, part of which includes the original pamphlet of his lectures in 1880, it expands his teachings to a considerable degree and adds, I think seven or eight at least new diagrams, new explanations of his yogic teachings, and also includes footnotes in Devanagari and Tamil, right? So Sanskrit can be used and, written in a variety of scripts, including Devanagari and the Tamil script. So this, gradually started to pick up, and, we can talk about a second stream of Sabapati's writings that started to circulate around in North India. There's examples of this, especially in Mumbai and Gujarat, where one of these works was circulating. Now, there's also a gamma stream, and this is probably one of the most expansive streams just in terms of content of Sabapati's works. And this is mostly the Tamil stream. And so, you have a work published in 1889, which is sort of Sabapati's first full-length, exclusively Tamil work. There's just a few pages in English. The rest is all Tamil. And, you know, there were also several pamphlets published in Tamil that were specifically designed to explore the yoga and especially the rituals of worship, puja, and so on, festivals that would have been observed and to some extent are still observed in the Sri Sabapati Swami Madhalayam, what he called a meditation hall, and is still operating as a temple. So this stream also includes probably Sabapati's longest work, with the exception of the trilingual work. And this work includes, mantras, instructions on yoga, placements, a little bit of theory as well, and many, many more diagrams. And so, to give you a brief understanding or introduction to these modules, right? In the first module, we're going to go over like a tree universally spread, this experience that Sabapati was describing as the result of Shiva Raja Yoga. And for this, I'm going to take you through Sabapati's original instructions, with the help of an annotated translation that I have made that really goes over what all of these technical words are intended to convey. So no linguistic experience, prior in Sanskrit or any other Indic language is necessary. All of the definitions and the meanings will be there for you. And on the other hand, if you are experienced in an Indic language, especially Sanskrit or Tamil or so on, these terms will, I believe, come to life for you in a new way. And you might start to see translations of these words and connections that really start to bring your own practice of yoga together. So the first module we will explore is his first teachings, which really form the core of Shivaraja Yoga, or the royal yoga for Shiva. The second module expands that. So remember, I had mentioned that his second trilingual work in English, Sanskrit, and Tamil included an expansion, included numerous more diagrams that were not in the original pamphlet. And so we're going to talk about that a little bit, the foundations and the expansions, and how Sabapati saw various paths by which one could accomplish Shivaraja Yoga. And these paths are described in extremely technical language, but at the same time, they are detailed instructions. And so, these are things that you can also learn and practice. And so in the third module, we're going to shift then to this idea that he expresses in his work on Jnana Yoga, the yoga of gnosis, which then he starts expanding into this notion of mesmerism, which is his translation for Diksha. And then the last module, we're going to talk about mantras and mind-based worship, Manasa Puja, for every god and goddess. So this becomes something that's also really important in Sabapati Swami's works. He includes a wide variety of gods and goddesses with which you can worship with mantras, but you can also mentally, in the process of your yoga practice, at the end of this module, we'll also connect how these mantras and worship rites relate to processes and rituals that are still carried out to this day at the site of Sabapati's former meditation hall. That is the four modules in a nutshell. And, obviously we're going to go through much more material, and I have plenty of primary sources to share with you in this course. So thanks very much for listening, and I hope to see you in this class on November 25th.